without saying that there is a unity, there is something different on the whole, South American continent in the relationship between philosophy, theology, and literature. There is a way in which the development of philosophy did not take exactly the same way as in Europe. And that makes something interesting. Perhaps as well as the theology of liberation was developed there,
Yeah.
So,
between Brazil, Chile,
but
and Argentina, with
of
three
course,
different
I don't want to reduce that to a simple unity. But
I got scammed.
Okay. What your question was?
That obviously there are lots, like South America aside, there are lots of differences within the Christian community. So what is Christian?
Now, I try to show, in a certain way, nothing that has to do with the label Christian. What I said has very few to do with what happens now in Rome, as the journey of the Mondial Youth. So what I said has only to do in Rome with all the aspect, with all the not ecclesial aspect of what happens now in Rome, I mean that there are people of a lot of different sub-churches in Christianity together and sharing something that they recognize as that's a question.
Yes.
That's a
What?
question. That's a question.
I want
But
him to answer me.
no. But I am not. I said only that what happens in Rome is for me a sign of a kind of internal decomposition of Christianity. Because there in Rome, I'm happy for the Pope. If I want to be happy for the Pope, if he recognizes what he is in charge, I mean the Catholic Church. But for me, this is very far as well from Catholicism as from Protestantism. It is a kind of syncretism, yes, in the first meaning at least. And but that has in another way nothing to do with what I mean, because what I mean is the presence of what I designate as a Christian structure without any visible Christian sign, without of any religion. For
The structure of the Trinity?
No. What is the Trinity? This is difficult to say, but not destruction of the Trinity. On the contrary, the working of the Trinity. Right. What is the Trinity? The Trinity is not three gods. It's not a return to a polytheism. Trinity is one God in three persons. Who are the three persons? The Father, the Son, and the Spirit. What does the Spirit? The Spirit gives a relationship from father to son, from son to father, and from God to all the men. What does that mean? And I can decompose this question in two. What does that mean? If not that God itself is not a person, is not a substance, but is a relationship to itself. Okay? First. But second, what perhaps is more important is how it is that I can and even I shall ask, what does that mean? Do you know any other religion where it is not only possible from the outside, but necessary from the inside to ask, what does that mean? No, that is not religious at all. No. In a religion, in a classical religion, you have a whole given of gods, of story of the gods, of rituals to accomplish, to obtain the grace or the assurance, the protection of the gods, whatever. You precisely don't have to ask what does that mean. No?
Not my Christianity.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
And if your Christianity is without putting the question, what does that mean? Excuse me, but this is a little strange because the whole Christianity is made of what does that mean? How, for example, Jesus, in the gospel, or at the very first time, when before the gospel, you did not have Christianity. When do you start to have Christianity? When the dogma of Jesus as the Son of God is made. How it is made? It is made from the question posed to the gospel and to and through Paul, John, etc. What does that mean? The first, and this is so complicated that one must argue that this, what does that mean, started with the Hellenic Judaism. For example, with the translation of the Bible by the Greek, how you say, the Septuagint. What does that mean? What does mean this Hebrew word and this other one and this other one, and how to translate it? Take the Gospel of John. It is in Greek. Already behind John, you have what does that mean, already taken and elaborated and giving a text in Greek. This text starts with the main word of Greek philosophy, logos. And with a lot of Greek concepts, en arche, en o logos, etc. What do you do with that? You can I think I would say you can read the Gospel of John without asking what does that mean.
You can or you can't?
You can't. You can't.
Okay.
You can't.
You cannot. And that is so rare in religion. That is his point.
Well, no.
No. So it means
I
that.
don't think so.
Hmm?
First of all, I think that the analogy to Judaism is perfect. I mean, if Judaism is nothing but questioning,
Mhm.
okay, and my question about the Gospel of John is, okay, we can ask what does it mean, but 2,000 years ago, those words that we're reading today had much more currency. It was John was writing
Yeah,
in common Greek.
No, I did
Right.
not say that the Gospel of John was questioned at his time.
Right.
I only said that the fact that it is from the beginning in Greek implies the former interpretation through the translation, etc., etc., and implies the starting point of that enormous relationship with Greek philosophy that the father of church engaged, and that gives the possibility, as I mentioned in the lecture, to elaborate the dogma of incarnation. And so for me the question is that there is no Christianity going without philosophy. Of course, on one side of and then I may understand you on the side of practicing, believing in Christ and in the Trinity of God, and that's all in a religious way. There is no this problem I am talking about. But I put the question why it is that into Judaism and Christianity there is at the same time of the religion,